I'm talking about procrastination today. And somebody said procrastination is the thief of time. In other words, the more you put it off, you lose time. Some scriptures that I want to share with you. Well, it seems like my digitals are just not cooperating with me today. And that's why sometimes I just write stuff out. Uh, I see people using all these things, and I say, well, that'll save me some time. And then they go and they act up. uh, so, like this one's pulling up some of everything. It's not what I want. I had what I wanted right here. So, I'm going to tell you some reasons. And this is from a report from Psychology Today. Reasons that people procrastinate. One, uh, you toss self compassion to the wind, they say. In other words, it's like you don't care about yourself. And in order to accomplish something, you got to first care about yourself. You can't expect to get ahead if you don't care about yourself. So if you don't care about yourself, it's say, I'll get it done. You know, I'll get it done sometime or another. We are all, I don't know about you, but many of us are guilty of procrastinating for one reason or another. You may say, oh no, I don't procrastinate. Oh no, I never. I just get it done. You probably have some things you don't like to do. And if there's some things you don't like to do, that's another reason people procrastinate. But let me not get ahead of myself. Sometimes people procrastinate because they've learned to procrastinate from when they were kids. They learned from their role models. Their mom and dad were procrastinators. They were always late, always running behind, always waiting till the last minute to do things. And so when they got older, it was in their spirit. That was what they did. It's the last minute all the time. Let me tell you, I'm talking to myself when I'm talking to you. Don't think I'm standing up here teaching you something that I have mastered. No way. I procrastinate on too many things, and I am learning and teaching myself as I go through life, as I teach you. And I am becoming better at it, thank God. But there's a whole lot more that I can do, and a whole lot more you can do. Hey, say open confession is good for the soul. So, and some of you that know me will say, I know she's not talking about that. Well, I am, because I need the help just like you do. What to try when you sort of toss self compassion to the wind? Psychology Today says talk to yourself with kindness, accept that you're human, and be an optimistic coach rather than a negative critic. I think that's pretty good. In other words, tell yourself, okay, we can get this done. Let's do it. Not you always being behind. You just dumb. You just can't take care of nothing. You just can't be on time for nothing in this. People talk to themselves like that. Negative talk. If you talk ugly to yourself is gonna be ugly to you because you're talking to you. And what you're gonna feel back is not gonna be a good feeling. So you have to learn to talk good stuff to yourself and tell yourself, well, we can do better. Say, I can do better. Yeah, I missed it that time, but I'm going to do better. I'm going to start being there in a place 30 minutes ahead of time. If you can't get 30, say, well, I'll start being at least 5 minutes early, then 10 minutes early, then 15 minutes early. And eventually, even if you get held up in traffic, you would have enough time that you won't be behind time. That's a good policy, and I'm trying to learn that one myself because I find when I go early, yeah, I might have to sit around, but I've always got something I can do. And nowadays we got what? These jokers. So we'll always find something to do. You don't have to be bored sitting in the car anymore. Just get on your phone, read some scriptures, listen to some gospel songs. How about it? Yeah. Another one, when I said you learn to procrastinate from role models, your parents, your siblings, or other important role models may have demonstrated a put it off attitude, which you've now adopted as your own. As this psychology today, and they says what to try. Talk to yourself about the negative consequences these role models faced when they procrastinated. When you saw your parents procrastinating, what? They out of breath, running, trying to get to something. They're supposed to carry a pie maybe to a dinner, and they rushing and might the pie. They might drop the pie and lose the pie, or two or three pies, and they end up somebody sticking their finger in the pie. Something happening where if they'd gone on time, they could have taken their time and put it in wherever they're going to put it safely and got there and had time maybe to even chat. But rushing to get the rice done and burn the rice at the last minute. How you going to take burned rice to the convention, huh? So, but had they started early, it would have been done. And these were the consequences you saw from those that you grew up with, just for an example. Then find new role models to mimic. If the only ones that you remember, those that procrastinated when you were growing up, look around at somebody and find some new role models, specifically those who take action and experience positive results because of it. One more role model I remember, and it helped me some time back, was um, I used to play for a church in Faison, North Carolina, Burning Bush. And Pat Elder and Sister Pickett, she's a pastor now because he's passed on, but they would pick us up from in Raleigh and we would go to Faison. And they would be about an hour early for the service. But being there early, had time to relax and whatever. They did not have to rush. If there was traffic delay on the highway, didn't hear them saying, "Oh my goodness, we're going to be late." Oh, because they had plenty of time. And I thought about that one. That's it. That's the pattern I want to pattern after, is where they gave themselves an hour, what, 45 minutes to an hour ahead of service, and they were there just sitting in the office, being able to do whatever needed to be done. And so I encourage you, you know, plan and find somebody who you see that they're always in place, always on time, never flustered or frustrated because they're there. And they're not rushing in at the last minute. And let's pattern our lives behind people like that. Because growing up, I saw a lot of procrastination, and that seems to have attached itself to me. So it's now I'm older, I'm grown. I need to detach from that and remember better role models and work on doing better so I can leave a better example. You need to do that. You need to do that as well. I'm going to give you a scripture. To everything there is a season and a purpose under God's heaven. That's from Ecclesiastes 3 and 1. You know, there's a time to do everything. And we running an hour late, we have missed the time to do what was supposed to be done on time. Um, Psalm 16:11 says, "Thou wilt show me the path of life. In thy presence is fullness of joy. At thy right hand there are pleasures forevermore." James 1 and 5, "If any of you lack wisdom, let him ask of God, that giveth to all men liberally, and upbraideth not, and it shall be given him." In order to overcome procrastination, we need wisdom. We need help from God in order to get this thing right. Because this is a thing that has been holding on to many of us for years and years, since we were perhaps kids, because we grew up around procrastinators, perhaps, and then it continued on. Then we passed it on to our children, perhaps, and they saw us procrastinating. And if not careful, they will do the same thing with their children. Let me pause this. It's not going to be. How do